Hello, I'm TheCompsGuy. I'm coming at you with a brand new video. If you're new to this channel, I release videos Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon Pacific time. I specialize on getting people to Vegas with the best discounts, whether they're using comps through My Vegas, trying to get comps on their own through gambling, or through spending at resorts, as well as just planning and prep for the first time we're going to Vegas. So if you're interested in any of that content, please subscribe to the channel, and here we go. So today is going to be a story that I found. It's not it. There we go. A story I found just kind of scanning through the internet, and it's from WikiHow. So when you take stuff from wikis, take them just with a grain of salt, obviously. But it's called How to Find a Loose Slot Machine in a Casino. So there's three parts. They have three methods, and under each method, I'm just going to say A, B, C, D, because the way they numbered it, it's like method 1. Then under it, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Method 2, 1, 2. I'll just, instead of doing the 1, I'll just put method 1A, 1B, etc. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a debrief, not debrief, but kind of how do I say this? Just a background on how slot machines work, and where I think the author or authors of this article are coming from their assumptions. There's nothing wrong with their assumptions. I just think they're misguided. So how slot machines work, at least modern slot machines, is that they're basically a computer. They're a computer that runs a algorithm with random numbers. Each symbol has numbers associated with them, and they have payback percentages. These payback percentages are based on how the casino buys them from the manufacturers. So Konami and there's Konami and a whole bunch of other companies, but I'm just going to say Konami for now. Ainsworth. So what these casinos do is they go and they say to Konami, hey, I want to buy, a bank of 50 machines. I'll order 50 machines with all these different game types in them. And I want denominations penny, nickel, quarter, 50, and dollar. And for basically the pennies, I want a payback percentage of 88 to 92%, and then so on and so forth. It goes higher as the more you gamble. There's never a 100% payback percentage, and these go based upon a year. So in a year, a machine that pays back 88%, that's 88% of the money that's put into it over a year span. So essentially, from say they bought it January 1st, 2020. It would pay back 88% of the money that comes back into it by December 31st of 2020, or I guess the 1st of 2021. So let's kind of debunk some of these. Playing to win is the first method. So 1A is play the maximum coins. Yes, that is somewhat true. You don't want to be playing a game without enabling the bonuses and the jackpots and different things that are associated with the game. And generally, in the rules will say you have to bet this amount. So how slots work, generally, if you haven't played them, most people play slots, so this is kind of basic knowledge. But if you're new to it, you have a penny slot. But in this case, I'll just say a quarter slot. So each unit is a quarter. And you'll sometimes have to bet a certain amount of units per spin to be eligible for these. So their example they use is basically 25-cent minimum, which is a 1 unit minimum, but you have to be betting $1, which is 4 units, to qualify. And I think that's a good, quick analogy, or not analogy, but an explanation from them. And they say the best technique is to basically find machines with jackpots associated with them. So I would say this is mostly truthful. I'd say it's probably 8 out of 10. Test the payout of the machine. So basically, in this, I'm gonna also link this in testing the payout of the machine. They essentially say, hey, if you put $20 in a machine, track over a half hour and see if it's paying back. If you don't get at least half of that money back, you have a loose machine. Um, or you don't have a loose machine, you have a super tight machine, or whatever it may be. Um, I have a video on like don't lose your money in a slot machine. Um, there's ways of minimizing it. This isn't going to be that video, but you you can't test a payout of a machine that is going on a random number generator and will pay back over a year span of how much money you put into it. So if you bet, say, $1,000 a day over a year, you put in 365 grand, 600, not 600, 600, $365,000 into a machine, and it paid back 88%, and you were the only one paying that machine, you only get 88% of that money back, maximum. That would be pennies, obviously. I mean, they also try to give you comps and different things to offset some of the losses. I'm not saying you go and bet $1,000 a day, but I'm just saying that's kind of how it goes. Then the next one is 1C, play multiple machines at once. Never do this. This is a 0 and false. The only way I would say you should play multiple machines at once is if you have two people, like you're playing in a group. You have two people who live, like, say, in separate households, and you're not pooling your money together, and you're just playing machines, and you're just playing together. But as far as, like, say me and my wife go out, we have our cards linked up. Generally speaking, we just use the same payback percentage. So why would we be playing two different machines at once if we're staying next to each other? Why not play one machine, use the same bankroll, and bet more, and keep that theoretical average up so you're getting comps. So if I'm betting on a 5-cent machine and I'm betting, say max coin, and I can get through it, I'd much rather play the 5-coin machine instead of 2 penny slots. Unless they're running a promotion. Sometimes they'll run promotions on certain games like video poker, where it would make sense if you both play perfect strategy to be playing two different machines, because then you're getting like 3 or 4 times the bonus. If you're just playing like basic slots, I say you just never do that. Also, if you're a single person, you don't have multiple cards to just throw in a machine. So whatever you're losing, you're actually losing. Comps are used to offset what you're gambling usually. And then 1D is no one stop playing. This is the one I'd almost put 100%, 10 out of 10 true. You always should have a stopping point. I always try to stress this in my videos. I usually put 300 million on my Vegas if I'm in the billions, which is, a very small amount. What if I have 5 billion chips? It's not a lot. When I go to a casino, say I have $100, I try to say, if I start out with $100, not a whole bankroll, but $100 in the machine, I'm willing to lose, $25. Sometimes we don't always go by these hard and fast rules. But how I calculate how much I'm gonna bet would be, if I have $100 and I'm putting into a machine, I try not to go over 5 to 10% per spin. But that's also why you want a bigger bankroll, because if you're thinking about $5 a spin, and that's 20 spins. So normally I'd probably use $5 a spin at maybe a $500 to $1,000 bankroll, because you're getting more spins theoretically. So now choosing machine type. It basically talks about your how payback works in the slot machines, and how they don't post it. Yeah, it would be stupid for a casino or any company that on the gamblers on the casino side to say, hey, this machine pays out 90% over a year span. That's stupid, because then people will be like, okay, well, I'm not going to give them 10% at a minimum in losses. So this one's relatively true. It's like a 7 or 8. Also, there are certain machines I would advise you to play if you can find them, and look up Michael Shackelford, Ferd, or I think it's Ford, Ford. Pay tables for must pay by games, and the reason why is because he has a calculator on there. And if you find these games and they're close, you can plug it into the calculator and see how much theoretically you'd have to bet to get that jackpot. Because how these are the best machines, but they're very hard to find. A lot of casinos don't have them. The reason why is because the secret's kind of been let out. The cat's been let out of the bag. So if you have a third of your floor doing of those games, it's a lot less. They maybe have like 5 in a whole casino, and they're not all gonna be close enough. But the calculator's good because say you're $10 away from, say, hitting 500, at what you have to minimally bet. If you plug it all into the calculator, like, okay, well, theoretically you would have to spend $1,000 to get there, or $50, or whatever your calculations are. So I would highly suggest that, and just look up must pay by slot machine strategy, and I think his videos will pop up. Then it says don't play progressive machines. This is really not this is kind of one of those things where most people want to play them, but they don't, because most of the progressives, the mega bucks, the huge progressives, these ones that they're talking about, mega bucks, the ones where it's like a million or 100,000, or the big ones you walk up and it's a big old display. Those have some of the worst paybacks, and there are machines that have like progressives, but they are like there's like 3 or 4 machines banked together within a casino, and those ones are a little bit better, and they also have bonuses. But all these other ones where you're betting like $15 a spin or whatever to get there, over time you're actually losing more money than you'd ever win, and that's kind of that because they have such low payback percentages. And then this one is don't play multiple line. I would say this is like a 5. Don't play multiple line if they don't have bonuses, jackpots, and you're only depending on free spins. The reason why is because if they don't have features, jackpots, and you're relying on free spins, that's the only way you could really recoup without having humongous wins. So you're actually going through your money a lot faster. So yeah, every slot pretty much is multiple line for the most part. Even the 3 real machines do. But you're going to want to find a machine that has bonuses and different things. Those generally will cost you more spin to have those features enabled. But once they're enabled, like, you also want to have a bankroll. I'm not going to say you go to Vegas, you have 10 grand, and you just lay it in, put in machines, and assume you're going to win. But you're also going to want to, this helps you get comps in a sense. And also, don't ever chase a comp. That's one of my big rules. Don't just go to Vegas, throw 1,000, 10,000, 5,000, whatever you want to spend, right? And expect, hey, I'm going to keep playing because I'm going to end up getting a massive suite next time I come out. Yeah, but they just got like 4 grand off you. You paid for that suite already. And when you come out again, the likelihood is you're going to pay for that suite anyway in gambling. They don't give it to you for free for no reason. So there's that. And then we're going on to the third one, and it says scouting your location. Gambling casinos, yeah. Especially when you're in Vegas or in states where it's like completely illegal to gamble anywhere. When I say Vegas, I mean like Nevada, but Vegas in general, because most people, when I'm talking about gambling, it's not like your a lot of states have Indian casinos, but like you can't just like go into a gas station and gamble like in California, where in Nevada, you can like go to like a Terrible's and they'll have like slot machines. You can go into like a restaurant / bar, play video poker on the tables there, on the bar tops. It's interesting because I was in Vegas. Me and my wife just went to Vegas middle of August, and we were talking, and I was like, "Hey, you're in Vegas when you can be in a gas station pretty far off the strip. We were a good 5 6 miles. We were pretty much almost in Henderson or something. We're basically in Henderson, and we stopped at a gas station because we know the gas station is notorious for like a few things we like to get, and they don't have them in California. But through our travels, there's things, certain food items, stuff that are just feel like comfort food to us, and they have cheap drinks and stuff. And there was like 4 people in there playing video poker, and I'm just like, in Vegas when like you could be in a box inside of a gas station and see people like playing slots and video poker, and they were making not the people, but the gas stations probably cashing in on those people because they have bad payouts. They're around 50 to 75% payouts, which is very low. That means like for every $100, you're automatically giving $50 up or $25 up. And that says this one's a 0, because think about what I said earlier in this video. Do you when you look at a slot machine, it's completely random. So if you're going and asking employees, this one's talking about asking employees, like asking cocktail waitresses and asking people at the Players Club, and like you also need to think of the job of the cocktail waitress. They're not standing around on the floor like looking at other people play games, and that like they go grab drinks. They work off tips for the most part. Occasionally they'll see a machine over their shifts and be like, hey, that one's winning. But if you were to go and ask like a cocktail waitress, hey, what machines do you typically see? Yeah, they might give you something, but that doesn't increase your odds of winning. Everything is random still. Um, I don't want to sound pessimistic, but it's just the truth. And then it says make sure you tip them generously. Yeah, if you're asking for information, it just sounds like a stupid thing to even ask in the first place. If everything's random, going and asking someone, hey, have you seen any hot machines around here lately? Like that's like the biggest gambler's fallacy, asking someone for advice on something they saw, if in all actuality it's really just really not, like it's random. Then it says find loose spots in casinos. Keep in mind, this is just theory. Don't stick to a bad machine just because it's in a high payout location. Well, I don't think there's much belief to this theory where you go around casinos, and if you walk by a casino bank and they're on the outside, those ones are bound to hit more. I mean, I've never seen an actual study, and they're not ever going to do an actual study on this, where it's proven. Because I'm sure if there ever was a study, casinos would just like pay to not have it put out. I've been in plenty of open areas, especially at South Point. South Point, I think, is sort of notorious for having somewhat tight rules on certain table games, and different things, and slots. But there's big walkways, and I've also walked right in the middle of the casino where table games are and where the poker room is, and people either win or lose no matter where they're at. So like to say like, hey, if you are like right next to the entrance, you have a higher percentage of winning. I just don't see any validity to it. I don't see anything that backs that up. Could it happen? Maybe. But is it an everyday thing where you should walk into a casino and just play at the banks right next to elevators, or play right next to the restaurant or a bar? Like, I don't see a lot of validity to that. Then the last one is avoid low payout locations. That kind of bleeds into this one, where it's, hey, we put specific machines that don't pay out next to poker tables or next to the buffet or whatever, like next to blackjack. Like I don't see that being true. I've never ever experienced that. I mean, you're gonna lose. I think a lot of the premises of this and the assumptions of this is that like you can control a slot machine. That's like going and running like a random number generator on like in Excel and being able to call the number every time and putting money on it. That's essentially what it is. A number between 1 and 100. You have 100 choices. If you were to do it 100 times, maybe once or twice you'd get it right. There are also skill-based games now. I don't know what those payouts are. Those would be ones I'd play like as a group, but you have to still find them. I don't know how. It's almost like you're playing against other people. Well, it's not almost. It is. That's how it is. So I mean, how would I rate this article overall? I think it's a C. I think it's somewhat misinformed. There's some information that's useful, like I said, like it gives you payback tables, not tables, but it tells you payback and kind of how that works, as well as you could search some of this stuff up. I think the most important thing to take out of this article is know when to stop. Don't become like a degenerate gambler, and also what I've said, like don't try to chase your losses as well. But overall, this is a C. I think it's one of those uncomfortable articles to analyze for me because there's a lot of articles in the gambling world where people will try to mislead others, or they're just kind of ignorant and they just go and write an article. It's a wiki, so I'm not going to be too hard. It's like a C. I don't expect them to. Said I don't trust wikis a whole lot, just because anyone can go in and edit them. I would expect them to be a lot more. I would hold them to less account, opposed to if this was on American Casino Guide or on like an official website like Wizard of Odds, one of those sites where they are very reliable, whereas this is anyone can go and edit. I can go in and edit this. If this information was useful, please comment down below. I know it's a long video. Thumbs up, like, comment, share. I know it's long. This week's videos are long, or have been long. So anyway, thank you for watching. I'm the Comps Guy. I'm getting you Vegas faster and cheaper. So have a nice day.